Okay. I'm I'm back. Sorry. Yeah, sorry about that delay. Give me. All right. For fuck's sakes, please work. Please. Oh my god, OBS, you are actually killing me here, right? Oh my god, my OBS is actually taking the piss. The official art for Leonard. I'm sure Milos has sent it in. I'm sure I've seen it. The amount of art I've been sent in the past few days for Lord of the Mysteries, I can't fucking imagine. I'm missing I'm missing something. Oh, for fuck's sakes, it's still not working. Are you taking the piss? It's still not. You're fucking kidding. Yark, how's it going, man? Um, okay, I'm gonna try one more last thing. I'm keeping the stream as is this time. I'm just gonna see if this works. Hopefully, if not, we will. If not, we'll just. I'm gonna have to just keep it as is then. Oh, for God's sakes. Okay. All right. Let me actually get this pulled up. What are we? What number is it? 171. Copper Whistle. Yes. Oh, that's a good title. Let's go. Um. Okay. Even that's not working? Are you fucking taking the piss? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna try one last thing. If not, we're just gonna have to scuff it. I guess it. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Okay, it's just not gonna happen. 40 more chapters this this volume. Yeah, I want to 14 to 15, I guess. So yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what the fuck my OBS is on. Like, it was fine this morning, and it was like I just changed the overlay really quickly, updated the URL, and it worked just fine. And now I did the same thing, and it's just not working. Why? I don't fucking know. What's the difference? Fuck if I know. Okay, fine. Fuck it. We'll just do this instead. Fine. Okay, God. Okay. After leaving Azek's house, Klein took a public carriage to Daffodil Street. As he opened the door to his house, he suddenly saw a figure sitting in his dining room. Klein instinctively tightened his grip on the cane, but quickly realized what was going on. It wasn't a thief, but the maid, Bella. Bella was focused on reading a spread-out newspaper on the table. She jumped in shock when she heard the door open, quickly standing and stammering. I was just done with the task for this morning. I was waiting for the water to boil so that I could eat some bread. I'm really not used to having a maid in the house, Klein mocked himself. He took off his hat and nodded. Reading is a good habit. To be able to persist in reading despite the busy workload is something that's encouraged by the goddess. He used the name of the goddess just in case Bella took his compliment as sarcasm. But in reality, only the god of knowledge and wisdom would place this much emphasis on reading. Of course, all other churches advocate education, yes. Since she's about 18 years old and believes in the goddess, Bella's love for reading must be influenced by her parents. Parents would like this would send their daughters to receive an education as long as they could afford it. Even if they couldn't afford public school, there are always free schools provided by the church. At most, it would just delay her education. Thus, Bella isn't illiterate. She can understand words and read the newspaper, Klein thought as he walked into the living room and after setting down his cane. He had quite a good impression of Bella. Even though she was a little clumsy and obviously not used to the kitchen, she had shown a willingness to learn. Bella let her hands hang down and said, embarrassed, I didn't have the opportunity to read many newspapers in the past. The landlord didn't let us use old newspapers to clean the walls. I stole a glance at it when I picked up the newspaper just now to clean the coffee table. I thought that was rather interesting. Church free schools goated? The religion in this world in general pretty goated. It's very modern to for religions to say like, yeah, women should be educated too, which is a wild thing to say because it seems like it'd be like the bare fucking minimum, but apparently not. Oh, please. Knock at my door at 1 in the afternoon, then prepare a cup of Saib tea, 2 pieces of soft white bread, a piece of white toast, and a small plate of butter. Wait, no. I just skipped so much shit. What the fuck? No. What a pitiful lady. When I transmigrated, newspapers were the least interesting of things, Klein thought as he lampooned. He smiled and took out his silver pocket watch from his pocket. After looking at the time, he said, as long as you complete your tasks and do them well, you're free to do whatever you want with the rest of your time. You don't need to be too nervous. Of course, if I'm having a chat with Melissa and Benson, it's best you stay in the room. I will allow you to use the lamp inside and take a few old newspapers with you. Username, just toss it in chat. I won't look at chat for the next little bit, and then Ramiro and Milos can make sure that it's, oh, okay, never mind. Please knock at my door at 1 in the afternoon, then prepare a cup of Saib black tea, 2 pieces of soft white bread, a piece of white toast, and a small plate of butter. Not a spoiler, it was said. Lord of the Storms religion is the most not-so-progressive one? Interesting. It was said. I don't recall that, but yeah, it'd be like a very tiny thing, so I could have just forgotten it very easily. In order to celebrate his advancement to Sequence 8, Klein decided to spoil himself slightly. He was going to eat the white bread ahead of Benson, who was planning on having it over the weekend. Well, I'll buy 8 more pounds of bread soon. In the future, we'll make the change in our staple dish from wheat bread to white bread. As a Sequence 8 Beyonder, my weekly pay is definitely going to increase. To think that the captain didn't mention this, he forgot again. Klein froze for a moment and decided to clarify tomorrow. Hey, devil, yeah, Evernight is the most progressive towards women? Well, I guess that makes sense. If your god is a woman, then you'd probably be most progressive. That makes sense. Oh, Yarrick, yes, you're right. Where they were talking, yes, where they were talking about, yes, when Melissa popped by with her friends for the, like, I don't know, whatever that thing was, like budgeting or some shit. I can't remember. Following that, she asked, with a little uncertainty, Mr. Klein, do you mean the Saib black tea used to entertain guests? She called him by his first name as Moretti could be used to refer to anyone in the family. Yes, that'll be my usual tea in the future. Klein waved his hand and made his way towards the stairs. He suddenly noticed he was in a decent financial situation after becoming a clown. That shit pays, man. That's why Andrew Tate does it. It's because of the money, man. This was partly because there were no large expenses for the time being. He only needed to spend 2 soli on transport while he was investigating the houses with red chimneys, and on the materials that he needed to purchase occasionally, claims could be made for the latter for most of the time anyway. Hello, darkness, my old friend? Oh, devil, I see. Also, there was a sum of £300 in Klein's anonymous account. It was important to understand that I assume like fucking, plot of land, or one, what would this be? 1 ARE. What the fuck? ARE, unit of area in a metric system equal to 100 square meters. Oh, I see. Okay, just 10 by 10 foot, 10 meters by 10 meters. I see. Matriarchal religions do tend to be more egalitarian. Yeah, which logically makes sense too, right? Sound if your god is if your god is a woman, you'd be a lot more progressive towards women. Just logically tracks. That 100 meter squared plot of land in the countryside only costs 5 to 6.5 soli. That's so cheap. Which was another way of saying that Klein could afford 920 to 1,200 areas of farmland, which is equivalent to... What is MOU, bro? Chinese unit of land measurement that varies with location, but is commonly 806 square yards. Cool. To 137 to 179 mo back on Earth. Furthermore, this sum of money could allow Klein to buy a house on Daffodil Street on a contract for 15 years. Sorry, maybe someone can explain this to me. Does this mean the 300 pounds is enough to buy the house outright, or is enough to get a down payment for a 15-year mortgage? Because that, I don't understand. It's not actually vitally important. I'm just curious. I have a banking background, so it's just interesting to me. If I convert all of my money into land, I'll get between 23 and 31 pounds a year in rent. That's not bad, but not necessary for the time being. I'll use that 300 for emergencies. I'll have to find an opportunity to tell Benson and Melissa about my true weekly salary. Well, yeah, now that it's going to increase again, you might want to... It's a mortgage? Okay, dope. After locking the door to his room, Klein sat on the edge of his bed and started his cogitation. He wanted to use this method to slowly control the powers seeping out of his potion. He was very careful and very cautious. Imagine what Audrey can buy. The fucking country, bro. Not actually, but like... Audrey has like what I can only describe as like Jeff Bezos type money. Just fuck you money, basically. Of course, he didn't know that Punisher... No, wait, hold on. He thought of the term losing control very lightly until he saw the Punisher who lost control. Of course, he didn't know that Punisher personally. He also didn't know what happened to him. He subconsciously thought of him as an anomaly, a rare case. It's just like how an average person would make the comments about a murder they saw on the news before forgetting about it entirely. Really, Ark? I would have expected... I know they mentioned house prices. I can't remember them offhand. I would imagine she's like Jeff Bezos sound only because it mentioned that Audrey is like among the richest women in the aristocracy in Backland. Backland being the capital, so presumably most of the aristocracy stays there. And she's among the richest of the females there. So like she's in the 1% of the 1%. I know they mentioned house prices. I don't remember it, nor did I write it down. It's not that important. It's just how an average, yes. But what happened to Old Neil shook Klein greatly. It made him realize very clearly that losing control was always a possibility. Always. Losing control might descend upon him in ways he never thought about. That sure was a bloody lesson. Klein ended his cogitation and muttered to himself as he opened his eyes. Kinda hard to relate to Jeff Bezos since the start. Okay, so if you don't want to use Jeff Bezos, we can say Rockefeller. That's fine. Hi Dr. Z, how you doing? How's No, it's morning for you. Yes. On your way to work, I presume? Or, no, you left at 11 yesterday, so I presume still a little early. Or wait, did you... I'm sorry, am I forgetting, or did you say Thursday and Friday are your weekends? Rockefeller, yeah, okay. Yes. He had dreamed of that scene many times in the past few days, jolting awake in the process and finding himself drenched in cold sweat. He wasn't only grieving Old Neil's death, but also worried about his future. If he didn't have cogitation to help him sleep, he definitely believed there would be many sleepless nights in his future. Other than digesting the potion, I also have to try my best to control my emotions and desires. I have to keep them to reasonable levels and not be consumed by them. Klein exhaled and laid down, quickly falling asleep. On the day that old Neil passed away, Dunn's actions and words had touched him greatly and made him critically assess the responsibilities of a Nighthawk for the first time. She's not touching Mansa Musa though? Well, didn't Elon Musk on his peak day surpass the wealth of Mansa Musa? So, I mean, she'd be close. No, it's the weekend. I woke up to pray. Oh, no. Yes. It made him want to... yes, it made him want to take up his responsibilities and help his captain and teammates. Thus, I haven't heard about... Yeah, sorry, give me 1 second. Versus imaginary stock money. Well, yeah, technically true, I know. Elon Musk. Yeah, so, sorry. Elon Musk has reportedly become the richest man in history with a net worth of 436, surpassing Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa's wealth was estimated about 400, so on his peak day, he just crossed him. Also, do you guys want to hear another crazy stat on top of that, if you guys are interested? All right, let me know. Otherwise, I'm not going to bore you guys with it. It's about how rich Elon Musk is, though, so, keep that in mind. Thus, he didn't intend to waste his afternoon. He was going to his combat lessons, 3 in the afternoon, on a crude training field. The blonde, crew-cut Gawain creased his eyebrows and witnessed Klein slowly familiarize himself with the motions. Going for the movement of a decent beginner to the movement of an apprentice knight who had been practicing for a good 6 months. All this happened in the short span of 40 minutes. He called for Klein to stop and sized him up. He couldn't help but ask, what happened? Klein had already come up with an excuse. He was prepared to attribute his performance to scientific research when Gawain added, you don't need to answer if it's inconvenient for you. It looks like there was some communication between the police department and Gawain. It makes sense. He has to train Beyonders occasionally, so how could he not know? Teacher, how long do you think I need before I can take part in actual combat? Gawain crossed his arms and looked at Klein. 2 or 3 days, but that isn't enough, he explained, as if in thought. Being able to take part in combat isn't the same as being good at fighting. The latter would take another 2 or 3 weeks. Furthermore, you have to gain mastery over weapons that you can bring with you. For example, a cane, whip, daggers, bayonets. There's still so much to learn. Klein was dumbfounded. Gawain swept his experienced gaze at him. Remember, every drop of sweat you lose here might save your life in the future. Yes, teacher. There's a really good saying, and it's he who sweats more in battle bleeds less in war. Sorry, he who sweats more in practice bleeds less in war. Sorry. On Sunday morning, Klein entered the security company and knocked on the captain's office. Dunn looked up as he was expecting him. I forgot to inform you. Your position at the police department has risen from probationary inspector to inspector now that you've advanced to sequence 8. I'll get them to issue the appropriate documents and epaulets to you soon. Your weekly salary will also increase from that's huge, dude. From £6 to £10. The church and the police department will each bear half your salary. This salary is the level of an experienced Nighthawk. Of course, I mean an experienced Nighthawk at sequence 9. Captain, are you following the wrong script? That's more than I imagined. Holy shit. He had imagined that his weekly salary would only increase to £8. I thought the same. 10 is massive, dude. We're chilling. We're raking in the dough. The increase in salary for Nighthawks is firstly dependent on years of service, second on contribution, third of level of your job. The third criterion is often highly correlated with your contributions. Right. Without any contributions, even if one were to digest the potion, they would be unable to apply for the formula and materials. Yeah, he's like chilling. £10 is so much money. Right, yes, a weekly salary of £10 coupled with any bonuses would mean a yearly salary of £540. Since he didn't need to pay taxes, this salary was fairly high in a middle class bracket, just lower than the desirable occupations such as esteemed lawyers, famous architects, experienced surgeons, and government workers. 4 over 6. Yeah, 66% raise. That'd be like if you're making 50 grand here, and then you get 1.667. Like, holy shit! You go from 50 grand to 83 and a half. Holy shit, dude! You're eating lobster. Esteemed lawyers, famous architects, experienced surgeons, and government workers. Even the vice president of the Lone Kingdom's treasury only makes £700 a year before tax. That's at most $640 after, probably lower. According to the newspapers, a decent house in Backland and Hillston only cost £2,500. With Benson, Melissa, and my current expenditure, we could buy one in 7 or 8 years. To be able to afford a bungalow in the central city of the capital in 7 or 8 years, purely through my own efforts, this salary makes me happy. Klein got up and bade farewell. He quickly walked to the basement and took off his shirt at Chanis Gate. Yeah, like if you can buy a decent house in like a good part of like a central part of the capital, their current fucking thing has got to be, their current neighborhood has got to be like way cheaper. Like if there's 2,500, I assume their current house would be like 1,000. It's just a rough guess. Before it was 10, he suddenly heard someone approaching Chanis Gate. Soon after, Dunn appeared. There's a case that requires your help. An incident involving Beyonders? No, a parliamentary representative of the city, Mr. Maynard, was found dead in his house. The Tingen Police Department is under huge pressure and wants a mediumship ritual to pinpoint the murderer. Currently, you're the only person on the team that can do that. The Holy Cathedral will send over a mystery prior to our team next week. Actually, it should have been done a long time ago, but you happened to join and chose Seer, so that worked out. Sorry. If it was realistic, he'd get an increase of like 10 soli per year. Oh God. Don't even. What? Yeah. Yeah. Or maybe in the Victorian era they would have helped more. Or maybe that's just like our like rosy goggles for the past. Who knows? The Evernight Church is kind. Plus, in my former job under the joint university and government, I was excused from paying taxes. That, let's just say, is a sweet taste. Holy shit, that would actually be so dope. And then I can't even imagine how dog shit it would feel to have to pay taxes again. Ugh. I'll be in the background from now. Probably won't chat much. I'm probably gonna go to sleep. All right, no worries at all, username. You have a good night, buddy. If we were to map this onto our time period, lobster probably hasn't even become a delicacy yet. Yes, lobster. Yeah, because lobster up until, I want to say like the 60s or some shit, was like considered like poor people food because it was like, oh, you're eating bottom feeders, no? Maybe not quite that recently. Maybe I'm. Hold on. Okay, just really curious. From rags to riches. People got the hang of successfully preserving lobster by the early 1800s. Before the 19th century, lobster was reserved for the bellies of criminals, poors, and slaves. Holy shit, boys. Ugh, taxes. Can you imagine take a 0.5%? Dude, 0.5%. Eridus, you have to understand, okay? If they had that extra 0.5%, they would employ more people. It's not like they would just hoard it in treasure troves and have a fucking Scrooge McDuckian vault. No, they would just employ people. They would build more businesses. They would hire people, make factories, okay? God. People don't understand. Oh, the Elon Musk thing that I was gonna mention. Yes, on his on his peak day, the richest that Rockefeller ever was. For anyone who doesn't know, Rockefeller was the first ever billionaire, like in modern times. Okay, in the U.S., he was a fucking oil magnate. Like he just fucking owned everything in regards to that. On his peak day, Rockefeller was worth 1.6% of the US's GDP at his peak wealth. On that day that Elon Musk was worth $436 billion, Elon Musk was 1.7% of the US's GDP. Even as a percentage of ratio, he's richer than Rockefeller on that day, which is insanity. Because you say like, oh, well, he's worth more. Okay, well, the dollar's devalued and, inflation, yada, yada, yada. No. As a percentage, wild. Not in this era. In this era, the kindest of them all force their workers to work with poison. Yeah, no. Here it is. That was a joke, man. I was just saying like what someone who actually wanted to lower taxes on the rich would say. They'd be like, no. You have to understand. If they had that money, they would just invest it back in the business. Like, no, motherfucker, they wouldn't. Okay. 172 autopsy. I will say these are longer chapters. Jeez. How long has the Member of Parliament been dead for? Klein asked straight away. If it was more than 15 minutes, the information he could obtain would decline considerably. If it was more than an hour, there'd be very little to find. If it was more than a month, the contact with the spirit of the dead would most likely fail. Regrettably, the initial autopsy report shows that Mr. Maynard died between 9 and 11 last night. You need only provide assistance and not consider if you can be of use. Ramiro, do you understand? Elon Musk could give you like, I don't know, like $1,000 and you'd be like the richest person in Sri Lanka. That's a fucking joke, obviously. I apologize. That's in bad taste, but I said it anyway. It's fine. I think we should eat. Devil, no. All right, if you. All right. Klein took his coat and walked out of the duty room with his hat and cane in hand. Dunn Smith took his place at China's Gate guard room. Actually, who's... Holy shit! There are no billionaires in Sri Lanka. Actually, this was 4 years ago. This might have been updated. Apparently, again, according to just a Quora post, because I can't find anything else, but apparently this person, that's at least what they claim, is the richest person in Sri Lanka, and he's worth $500 million. Or as of 2023, this one says he's worth around $1 billion, so maybe. I don't know. $1,000 in Mexico is like 20,000 pesos, so it's probably not too far off. Who the fuck is that guy sound? I don't know that name. Sorry, I promise. God, we were on a history kick this morning. Now we're on a finance kick. What are we on? He is the richest man in Sri Lanka. Oh, never mind. Maybe this guy. He's worth around 1.6. Oh, wait, no, he's dead, isn't he? No, that's his dad. No, sorry, he's alive. I'm sorry, his dad is dead. I apologize. No, sorry. We're finding out stuff. This is cool. See? You guys come here, we talk about Lord of the Mysteries. I learn Lord of the Mysteries. You learn cool, fun facts. Win-win for everybody, no? Okay. Theoretically, as a Beyonder, as long as one's spirituality was enhanced, things like spirit vision, divination, ritualistic magic can be learned, especially for Beyonders from the Sleepless sequence who were known for their high spirituality. Our currency is such a mess with all the zeros. I just gave up on talking money. We practically use 3 different units. Is it just, is it like because of like, regime changes, Dr. Z, or is it just because of like sheer inflation and like to buy bread or some shit is like just like 10,000 of whatever your currency is? Iran currency. Holy shit. I just pulled this up. She said it's one of like 3 different currencies, so like take it with a grain of salt. But one Iranian rial is tens, hundreds, thousand, 10,000. Oh no. And our currency isn't worth that much, dude. What is it? USD to CAD right now? Oh, $1.41 compared to the US or holy shit. Oh, to put it to Iran currency to USD. Dude, look at this. Bang into the ground. Isn't this the same? That's the same that's the same value. Why is it so much lower? What's this graph? What were they smoking when they made this graph? I don't understand. Okay. And you were shitting on me. Yeah, sorry, Romero. But hey, if you guys are becoming commies, then I will shit on you, okay? Listen. The only people I'll fight with as much as the Nazis are the commies, okay? Yes. But in actual fact, the differences between the various sequences was vastly obvious. Dunsmith and Leonard had learned spirit vision. Wait, yes, I'm Canadian Plastic. I assume that means you are too? Dunsmith and Leonard Mitchell had obviously learned spirit vision, but they could only see faint white or light blue in the colors in the auras of others. They were unable to precisely differentiate the status of different parts of the body. Of course, they could definitely see spiritual things with spirit vision, but doing so wasn't as effective as using their spiritual perception. Who's Meryl J. Fernando? Hey, listen. I can shit on Elon Musk, but I will do so as a communist. I will do so as a capitalist, okay? I ain't no fucking commie. Don't mistake me for that shit. Okay, dope. Good to have you. So that's 3 Canadians then. They were unable to including myself. They were, yes. That also led to the problem in which Beyonders at the Sleepless, Midnight Poet, Nightmare sequences didn't enjoy activating their spirit vision. Fernando is the guy who made Dilma tea. I don't know if you use their stuff, since you're a tea guy. I don't drink tea, sorry. Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka. Full thing of Sri Lanka? Oh shit, really? Is that the ruling party currently, Romero? Or, like, I don't want to say ruling, but is that the party in power? Similarly, if they weren't willing to, they could also learn spirit pendulums, dowsing, dream divination, and so on, but their rate of success wasn't worth noting. I mentioned inevitable for a reason, dog. He's the tea guy? Oh, yeah, sorry. Sorry, devil. Yeah. Worth noting. It was the same with ritualistic magic as well. When the two of them walked past one another, Dunn suddenly said, "I forgot to tell you that Inspector Toll is in charge of the case. He's waiting for you at the reception hall. Remember to change into your new uniform and grab your new documents." New uniform? New documents? Klein wasn't surprised. The Tingen police department sure is efficient. This is the first time anyone has ever said the police department is efficient. Holy shit. Oh, Dr. Z, I drink coffee. So much coffee. No tea, though. Not big on tea. I will have tea because my parents really like it. So, like, if they're having it in the morning and I'm too lazy to make my coffee, I will have it with them, but it's rare. He had just advanced to sequence 8 the day before. It's because this case is so very important. So Dunn spread his hands and took up Klein's previous spot. Klein walked upstairs, but he wasn't in a hurry to go to the reception hall. He entered the Nighthawk's break room and entered the attached bathroom to relieve himself. There was only a toilet bowl, water bottle, and a bucket in the duty room. Then he changed into the police uniform that revealed his promotion to 2 silver stars and put on his peak cap with the 2 crossed swords and a crown. My family isn't doing well. We're a couple $100 million in debt. Devil, let me tell you something really smart, okay? As someone who's worked in a bank, we believe this. We believe this to our core, okay? You ready? If you owe the bank $1,000, that's your problem. If you owe the bank $100 million, that's the bank's problem. You believe in that perfectly, okay? Adhere to it like your maxim as a beyonder. You will find, just really quickly.
We just need money. One more decent take and we're gone.
Since you mentioned it, plastic, I just thought it was funny. That statement was pretty disingenuous since it's my dad's business, yeah. Oh, okay. Never mind. In that case, it actually is your problem. Sorry, I apologize. Wait, hold on. I don't know. In pregnancy, one shouldn't drink too much tea, and the lowest amount I could get with negotiation with my mother was during pregnancy. Dr. Z, did you add 2 numbers by accident? Because you did not just tell me you drink 12 cups of tea a day. No, that's a typo. I refuse to believe it. You surely meant to say 2 cups of tea a day. 1 would be too little because you normally have 4. So you tried to talk her down to 2. Yes. Stop. No. You're lying. Stop. Okay, I will... Okay. Stop, no. National People's Power current party sounds commie, right? They are left-wing. So, National People's Power, I'm talking about... Oh, I see. I see. Your mum. The only time she is not drinking tea is when she's asleep. Oh, that's hilarious. Like, okay, never mind. I thought my mom drinks a lot of tea, but she has like 4 cups of tea a day. Jesus, 12? You're on some wild shit, dude. I know that you don't. I know that you shouldn't have a lot of tea or coffee because of the caffeine, and then it's not good for the baby for having like obscene amounts. I think when my sister-in-law was pregnant, I think they said like no more than 1 medium coffee a day, like if you're getting it from outside. So I think that's what I recall, or maybe 1 small. I think it was medium. Username. What in the actual fuck do you mean? It's high-ish, but not that much. I just looked it up. His business is... What does your dad do, Devil? If, like, you don't have to get too specific, and you don't have to tell me at all if you don't want to, obviously. But what does your dad do? Is he buying jets? What is happening? Yes. After transferring... Okay, Jesus Christ, I have to start reading. We're going to fucking be here forever. After transferring his flaring sun charm, Azek's copper whistle, his ritual ingredients, and other items, Klein smoothed out his uniform, took his cane, and exited the break room. He walked through the partition, saw Inspector Toll seated in the sofa area. It has been a while since they last met. The tall police officer seemed to have gained some weight, and his stomach was even more outstanding. With his thick mustache and hair, he looked like a brown bear that had just escaped from a circus. I'm glad to work with you again. When Toll saw that it was a Nighthawk that he knew, he let out a breath of relief. He stood out and extended his bear paw. No, palm. Klein corrected himself. Me too. Toll stole a glance at Klein's 2 shimmering silver stars and shoulder stripes and said with envy, we're the same rank now, and it hasn't even been A month? At first, Klein wanted to reply solemnly that the dangers we encountered is 10 times worse than yours, but he remembered his identity. Then, Sequence 8 Clown. Maybe I can give it a try. Using his spirituality, he looked at the reflection of his facial expression, lifted the corners of his lips, and said, "Maybe in a few months you'll have to call me sir. You sure are humorous." Toll chuckled and pointed to the door. "Shall we head out?" "All right." Klein hadn't given up his cane now that he became a clown. The cane was truly a viable weapon. Wait. I don't know if I've told my story with my uncle and his history with loan sharks. Teabag is trash. When I first heard people consider it to be real tea at a cultural breakdown, I agree. Teabags suck. Wholeheartedly agree, Dr. Z. He got kidnapped for like a week, and when they returned him, we found out about it. Jesus Christ. How the fuck do you loan from Tony or Unc to loan shark? Hey, listen, Eridus, one way or the other, okay? That dad lore has to be impeccable. You do whatever you have to get it, okay? I know it's his uncle, not his dad, but, you know, presumably he has kids. After exiting the security company, Klein and Toll walked side by side, forming a great contrast due to the skinniness and fatness of the two. I feel like we can make an audience at a circus. Laugh. Yes, I feel our vast contrasts bring a comedic effect. Do you know that some circuses are trying to use fat and skinny, tall and short clown combinations in their performances? No, I actually meant a beast tamer and a bear. It's a pity there are no fixed circuses in Tingen. That's right, we have operas, theaters, and music halls. They casually chatted as they got onto the police carriage. Then Klein redirected the topic onto the case. Family lore. Oh, yeah. It's a joint company between my dad and uncle. I see. My uncle started it with a loan shark decades ago, but never told anyone about it until he got kidnapped. Dude, what was the... Hold on.
Have a heart attack.
This is, so hold on. Right. Come on. No! Restart. Why is TikTok this garbage?
Have a heart attack. Be a man.
No, it's not stupid. It's be a man, okay? You don't tell anyone. You just come back home one day with your fingers chopped off, and that's it. Oh, wait. Oh, oh no, never mind. Screw the heart attack clip. I have a better clip for this. Hold on. Yes. I have a way better one. Hold on. No. Piss off. Okay. Oh, this is way better. I'm not sure if any of you have seen the show Malcolm in the Middle. Maybe I can play the whole clip. Fuck it. I'll probably be fine.
You want $8,000.
Oh, hold on. Sorry. I'm just where's my fucking God? Okay, hold on.
Yes. All right. The way this works is you come back next week. That won't be necessary. I'm not going to do that. You hear me now? There's no way I can get the money to pay you. But instead of making you go through that whole stupid charade where you keep calling me and I keep making lame excuses until you hunt me down, I am willing to go straight to the leg break. Really? Yes. Whatever you say, I just show up and you start snapping bones. Arms, legs, whatever. Invite anyone you want. I promise I will scream and cry and beg for mercy and make it so loud and so horrible that no one who sees it will ever miss another payment again. Now, you can't buy that kind of publicity.
Couldn't I just not give you the money and still break your arms and legs? Wouldn't that accomplish the same thing?
True, but then I think your point starts to get muddled.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Oh my god. Oh my god. Sound, here's the really funny part, okay? He doesn't have all of his organs. He like undergoes dialysis and still doesn't tell anyone because it's too embarrassing. Devil, if I'm making too many jokes and it's making you uncomfortable, let me know, okay? That's too funny. Oh my god. It's not fucking. Hold on. Yes. Is it confirmed that Mr. Maynard was murdered? We can't be certain, but his wife and 2 sons aren't willing to believe the possibility that he died due to a sudden illness. And there really was something wrong at the scene. When Maynard was found, he was naked on the guest room's bed. He sleeps separately from his wife. Yeah, I feel like it's relatively common that people do. Klein leaned back against the carriage wall and mimicked the main character in various detective films. I used to have a colleague that slept in different rooms from her husband. They were like, they still loved each other and everything. They just like to sleep in separate beds. My dad had the option to split off from my uncle's company, but said, nah, we're sticking this through because we're family. Like, who the fuck is we? I don't speak French. Devil, do you not like your uncle for doing the home family? I was once trying to explain to an old lady that her shoulder pain might be a heart attack and she has to get it checked, but she was convinced that I'm not a real doctor because I'm too young and stupid. I used to have the same thing when I never met her again. I wonder if she never. I used to have the same problem when I was at the bank because and listen, I totally get it. When I started at the bank, I was 18, 19 when I was giving like investment and retirement advice and stuff. So I get why someone would be hesitant to take retirement advice from a 19-year-old. First person to admit it, okay? No problem. But when people were really hesitant after a while, I was like, dude, you understand it's more, at least in my mind, it'd be more concerning if I had someone in the same position who was 50, because I'd be like, well, if the 19-year-old and you have the same job, I feel like you're doing something wrong, no? But, hey, I don't know, fucking, people do people, man, I don't know. No, his wife hasn't been in Tianjin recently. She went to Backland to attend a very important social ball. You may not know about it, but she's the leader of a new party. She's the daughter of someone from the House of the Commons. She's still on her way back to Tianjin via the steam locomotive. She merely used the telegram to express her opinion on the matter. Maynard is also a member of the new party. He's been a Tianjin member of parliament for more than a decade. He intended to run for mayor in the next election. You're a guy talking about anime online, taking advice from... Okay, Ramiro, you know what? You wouldn't believe it, but before I did this, as much as I did do other stuff. And nah, fuck it. You know what? You're a kid. I'm not taking, it's fine. Fuck it. You know what? Yeah, so I think the correct, no, fuck it. I'm going to actually, no, I can't finish that sentence. I would actually get sued into oblivion. Fuck. I was caught myself. In other words, his death might be related to this. I'm sorry, I'm only supposed to be helping with the autopsy. The rest of this matter is not within my area of concern. You don't have to answer. Toll didn't mind but sighed. Autopsy. You're very cautious. You were born the day you made this channel. My dad is the reason that the family was ever big. It's all my uncle's fault. Average family lore. Dr. Z can, I hope, probably attest to this, but like, it's like a common thing in like Middle Eastern or like South Asian families where like it's always like, damn, you know, if like your great grandparent or whatever hadn't sold this plot of land, we'd be so rich right now. I feel like every fucking middle class or like decent, well-to-do, whatever the fuck you want to call it, South Asian or Middle Eastern family has the same fucking story. It's like, holy shit. Thank you, Dr. Z. Yay! Fucking vindication. Hold on. As for your guesses, I would only say that there's a possibility. There was a gathering last night at Maynard's place. There were too many guests, and we temporarily can't find any main suspects. Plus, these guests have decent backgrounds, so we have to be careful. We can't make any mistakes. I understand. Klein nodded faintly and asked about the details of the scene. Maynard's house was a bungalow located on the Golden Indus Borough. It was surrounded by gardens and fields. There was a stable, a fountain, and a broad pathway built from cement. Klein put on his peak cap with his police badge, followed by Inspector Toll. They passed through the police steamers and entered the double-story house under the gaze of every policeman present. In the living room, there were 2 males and 4 female probationary inspectors who were talking to people individually to gather statements. Klein looked around and saw many gentlemen in tuxedos and a few ladies in glamorous dresses and checkered gauze hats. They're the guests who spend the night here, Toll explained, and led Klein up the stairs to the second floor. Along the way, when the police constables who were searching through the room saw the two, they revealed a look of respect without stopping them. Perhaps it was the effect of the inspector epaulets. This is the guest room where Maynard's corpse was discovered. The brawny Toll stopped by the wooden door. Which guest was assigned to this room? Nobody. There were too many guests in the house, so it wasn't there are too many guest rooms in the house, so it wasn't used. Inspector Moretti, I'll leave the rest to you. May the goddess bless you, and I hope we find something. Klein put on his white gloves too and locked the door behind him. He walked to the side of the bed and saw that the crimson bed sheets were abnormally messy. The corpse laying on it was covered with a white cloth. At this point, Klein could be considered quite experienced. He pulled away the white cloth without fear and looked at the member of parliament. The man was in his 40s, blonde hair was trimmed short, and the expression was a mixture of happiness and pain. I think I know what he was doing here. Klein took 2 steps back and took out the ingredients he needed. He quickly finished the setup for the mediumship ritual. As the faint calming fragrance swirled around him, he recited the divination statement he thought of too long ago. The cause of Maynard's death. The cause of Maynard's death. As he recited the statement, Klein retreated to a nearby high-back chair and sat down. Sorry, I'm going to read all the comments in a second, okay? I promise. I'm just trying to get through this chapter really quickly. His eyes darkened. He leaned back and quickly fell to a deep sleep. In the illusory and blurry world, he saw the gentleman from earlier. With his open blue eyes, Maynard was laying prostrate with a woman, above a woman with an outstanding body and fair skin. He first displayed an expression of extreme satisfaction and happiness. Then he suddenly clutched his chest with his right hand, and his expression grew contorted. As Maynard fell, the image quickly shattered. Klein opened his eyes and woke up from the dream. I can't believe that that I can actually watch. Oh, good lord. So Maynard had an affair and died of exhaustion. He took out a pen and paper before doing the ritual, drew a portrait of the lady he had seen in the dream with the aid of the ritual. Of course, everything below her neck was omitted. It was a woman whose age was hard to tell. She had the mature vibe of a woman in her 30s, but there was remnant innocence to her. Her eyes were crystal clear. And she had a delicate look. Klein looked at his work, then put away the ritual ingredients. He dispelled the wall of spirituality. leaned sideways to grab his cane. Suddenly, he heard the reverberating sound of someone clearing their throat. He immediately got goosebumps. He looked towards the bed and saw Maynard gripping the bedsheets so tightly that the tendons on the back of his hands were protruding out. With a swoosh, the member of parliament who died between 9 and 11 the previous night suddenly stood up. Saliva drools from the corners of his mouth as he opened his vacant eyes wide. Holy shit. Jeez, that was out of left field, wasn't it? Fuck me, that's another long chapter. God damn it. Okay. Oh, by the way, I'll see how I'm feeling, by the way, but tomorrow it might just be the one stream, well, for me in the morning, whenever for you guys, because my throat is really aching. So I might not be able to do the afternoon stream, but yeah, we'll see. If I feel okay, I'll do it, but just heads up. Now, sorry, what chats have I been missing? Okay. Sorry. You could have. The family is still big since it's a historic family, and there's like hundreds of cousins who are in big businesses and stuff. It's kind of like those big clans. Dope. Hey, Devil, all you need to do is just reach out to one of your like branch families and stuff, and just get some money or whatever, dude. It's all good, you know. There's like a Japanese thing for this. Yes. It's called Zaibatsu, which is like a firm that's vertically and horizontally integrated. So it's literally just families running different parts, so that if like shit hits the fan for one part of the company, they can borrow money from a different part because it's just family and like the money moves around. Just do that. Yeah, easier said than done. I know, it's just a joke. The only exception is my maternal grandfather. He's the one who bought the land and gave it away to charity. Oh, God. At its peak, the company was worth $800 million in 2005, which is like $2 billion. Instead, it's $500 million in debt. Jeez. Ramiro, I can't wait for the anime adaptation. Okay, bro. All right. Go message your girlfriend. Jesus Christ. Get yourself together. You're embarrassing yourself. Wait. The downfall of the company has started the year after I was born. Holy shit, Devil. Yeah, did you fumble generational wealth? Divination porno. Oh, God. I can't meet her too often. Her parents are too strict. Wait, Romero, how old are you, if you don't mind saying? Okay, 173, zombification. Before Klein could come up with any new ideas, he saw Maynard lift both his hands up. Its body lunged forward amidst the, to his left amidst the sound of hurtling wind. Wait, is he an actual zombie? Oh, you're 18. Okay, so I assume she's probably the same age or so. But, yeah, it's 18. Well, I guess by here standards, that's not young at all. But Sri Lanka, I'm sure that's too young for dating. Focus on your studies. There'll be time for this shenaniganery later. In the past, his dulled reactions under such a sudden, unexpected situation would have made it hard for him to avoid. Even if he had avoided the attack ahead of time, he would have had to roll away to avoid the fast-moving corpse. But now, Klein couldn't react nearly on instant. Bro, that's literally my dad. Yeah, that's what I was going for. He stomped down with his bright, buttonless leather boots and jumped diagonally onto the high-back chair. As it had only been a day since he advanced, he was still getting used to the power, agility, and speed. He accidentally leaped too high into the air and landed on top of the chair's high back. It was a narrow edge. Klein's heart tightened as he quickly controlled his body and adjusted his center of gravity. That's such a fucking long-winded way of saying, like, he just balanced himself, bro. He wavered for a moment and surprisingly managed to stabilize himself like a black cat flaunting its balance and poise. Does she have suitors they want to avoid? She wants to avoid? They are a hassle. Ah. Some of the other influential family members also had some weird things happening. Red Devil unironically on like a negative generational run. She doesn't even use public transport. Her dad takes her everywhere. As he was wavering, he flailed his left arm, swinging his cane to the zombie's rib as it pounced forward. The strike caused it to lose its balance and staggered and fell onto the carpet. Klein was standing on top of the chair as he felt for his revolver by raising his right hand. He attempted to pull it out from the holster so he could deliver a silver demon-hunting bullet at the zombie in front of him. There was someone who was the chief justicer who resigned after controversy and had to flee the country because of death threats and stuff. Jesus, another person who was highly influential in the military had a mysterious encounter. Dude, Devil, you understand your life is literally a fucking K-drama? I haven't watched it. I've watched like one K-drama in my life, but like it unironically feels like a K-drama what I'm listening to right now. Suitors aren't really a thing here, really. Interesting. But in that instant, he suddenly wondered about the aftermath. If he were to blow a hole in the Member of Parliament's corpse, how was he going to explain the cause of death to the family members or members of Parliament who were focused on the matter? All I did was double tap his corpse. As he was thinking, Klein reached into his pocket for the police uniform and felt the triangular plate, the Requiem charm. He quickly made a decision. He took out the silver amulet without hesitation and let out a low shout in Hermes, "Crimson." A blue fireball appeared, enveloping the triangular plate. A serene and gentle black aura spread forth rapidly, eliminating the anxiety and the worry of the soul. Wait, hold on. I'm so far back. Nope, not what I meant to do. Stop. Okay. And now I'm imagining her hiding somewhere and texting you while looking around every 5 seconds, typing, "Please go to bed." Are you Boeing? Big biology nerd, bro. Can't type today. Klein heaved a sigh of relief and planned to... No, sorry. A serene and gentle black aura spread forth, eliminating the anxiety and worry of the soul. Zombie Maynard stopped there, his eyes staring blankly onto the ground. His saliva dripped onto the carpet. Klein heaved a sigh of relief. Hey, Ratio, I don't believe I've seen you here before. Thanks for popping by. How you doing today? Klein heaved a sigh of relief and planned to take out the materials and set up a ritual to purify the desecrated being, but suddenly, Maynard once again let out a groan. His eyes focused on the left pocket of Klein's police uniform again. Holy shit. Klein leapt from the top of the chair to the edge of the oriel window. At the same time, he heard the sound of the chair breaking. Klein had no choice but to take out the rectangular silver plate. Slumber charm. We have some tuition classes we both go to. We used to be in the same class in school, but I stopped going to... But I stopped going to school? Like, as in you you graduated? Or like you just... You're supposed to go, you just don't? It wasn't only living things that could be put to a deep sleep. The dead were in a state of eternal sleep and would only be woken up under unusual circumstances. In certain books on mysticism, there was even a description regarding zombies. They slumber by the day and wake up in the night. Crimson. Klein once again recited the ancient incantation in Hermes. He intended to disregard the consequences and shoot the corpse with his revolver if that failed again. The problem that came later wouldn't matter if he was dead. As he felt the rectangular plate and in his palm turn cold, Klein injected his spirituality into it and tossed the charm out. After the mandatory education, I stopped school and do my higher education privately. I see. Okay. You're getting ready for your university entrance exams, which are in like 4 months, I think you said, right? What do you get tested on for your like university entrance? Because like, is it just everything? Like, do you need to know like chemistry, physics, history, like all that shit, or like how does that work? As he felt no, already read that. A dark flame illuminated his eyes as the sound of the light explosion reverberated around the room. A gentle power spread forth, bringing with it a fatigue that affected every living being. It got delayed to November. Okay, so you've got 7 months now. Jeez. Well, that's good. I mean, a good time to prepare is always good. Chemistry, physics, math. You want to be a engineer, Ramiro? That's a question mark, not a period, by the way. And 3 smaller subjects. Zombie Maynard had just propped himself up with a chair when he wavered. His eyes closed. He fell onto the back with a plop. With what had happened, Klein didn't dare to relax. He immediately took out the Amantha extract distilled from the night vanilla. Yeah, engineering. Nice. I think like 2 people got deaths. Wait, what? What did I miss, Devil? What? Another person. Oh, in the military death. I see. It was some law enforcement versus military police thing. What is happening? This is what I imagine his fucking family is like. It's like it's basically like LA, or sorry, like 2 super rich, or I don't know, man. I just searched up K-dramas about rich families. I don't fucking know what it's about. I'm just making this up. I don't fucking know. Yes. He quickly set up a sacrificial altar. Right on the heels of that, he set up the surrounding area with a spirituality wall with the aid of the Holy Night powder, encompassing the altar and the sleeping zombie Maynard. Bro, my family has no lore. All my lore comes from myself. Our family has lore, but it's not that interesting. It's just, Crazy part is that I never got to enjoy the benefits. Yeah. So Devil, for future, here's how you would put this, okay? So everyone up until, I think you said 2005, was living in the fuck around era, okay? You, 2006 onward, now are in the find out era. And you're finding out some shit you didn't do, but you're finding out real hard, okay? I could get a 4-season live action out of this. After silently reciting the incantation and lighting 3 corresponding candles, he dripped a few drops of essential oil extract and extracted various powders onto the flame. Klein then took a step back cautiously and looked at the zombie Maynard and recited in Hermes. O Evernight Goddess, nobler than the stars and more eternal than eternity, I pray for your loving grace. I pray that you look over your loyal guardian. I pray for the power of the crimson. I pray for the power of sleep and silence. I pray that you purify the unclean being around me, the gentleman once called John Maynard. Moonflower, a herb that belongs to the red moon. Please bestow your power to my incantation. Slumber flower, a herb that belongs to the red moon. Please bestow your power to my incantation. If it was as it was as if a midnight breeze blew within the wall of spirituality. A thin veil of black steam started to bewill from Zombie Maynard. When everything settled, Klein used his spirit vision and divination to repeatedly confirm that the zombie would awaken once again. After seeing the results, his worries eased. He ended their When everything settled, Klein used his spirit vision and divination to repeatedly confirm that the zombie Maynard wouldn't awaken once again. After seeing the results, his worries eased. He used the ritual and dispelled the wall of spirituality. Why did he come to life? Klein stood in front of Maynard, who was on the carpet. He knitted his eyebrows as he looked at the corpse. One side of my lineage reached the last king of the Sacian dynasty in ancestry, and that is not even the most weird thing. I have no idea what happened before my grandma. It was accidentally recorded. We have a paternal lineage going back 10 generations. I don't know how many. That's probably, I don't know how long that is. I don't know, whatever. Why would to Beyonder with high spiritual sensitivity, there was obvious signs to note if a corpse would come back to life or not, much less Klein, who was a seer. He had often had a premonition of similar matters, but what had happened just now completely took him by surprise. My grandpa was also part of the Imperial War Cabinet? What? Dude, devil. Holy shit. That is actual lore. Dude, unironic, am I losing it? Or does this stream right now feel like it's about Ramiro and Devil, and like Lord of the Mysteries is like a side thing that's happening? What the fuck is happening here? That's what the wiki says. I don't know how reliable that. Write a book. Yeah. You know what? You can get your family out of debt. Just sell your book, bro. What the fuck? What is happening? There were obvious signs to note if a corpse would come back to life or not, much less Klein, who was a seer. He had often had a premonition of similar matters, but what had happened just now completely took him by surprise. Unless there's a more mysterious influence at play, just like what happened with the suited clown. Klein recalled the scene in his head and sensed a problem. Zombie Maynard had been trying to attack the left pocket of his police uniform. Left pocket? Klein transferred his black cane to his right palm, then reached for his pocket with his left hand and took out the ancient copper whistle that was inside. If it was something from death, then it would make sense that a zombie's trying to get it, because a zombie would be like part of death, no? Nagato, thanks for popping by. How you doing? Yeah, that's actual wild fucking lore drops, man. What the fuck? The copper whistle zombified Maynard? It's quite plausible. Even if Mr. Isaac isn't a descendant of death, he definitely has a certain connection with death. It's logical that the items he carries with him would produce such an effect. Klein nodded in thought. He took out a copper penny and did a quick divination about the conclusion. As he was at the scene, holding the relevant items and had ample information, he quickly got a result. The copper penny fell onto his palm, portrait facing up. By the way, I will say this, you guys can confirm this too. This divination with the coin flip actually works. It worked for me yesterday for Isaac's thing, dude. That's wild. It's my grandpa was the second wife. I think only his first wife is on the page. I don't know what the fuck's even happening, bro. This means yes. To think that Mr. Azek didn't remind me to be cautious that these things happen. Well, he's an amnesiac. Oh my god. Amnesiac? Are you here, buddy? We're talking about you. So it's not uncommon to forget this. Besides, the copper whistle might not have had negative effects when it was on him. There's a high possibility it was suppressed. I shouldn't take the copper whistle with me when I'm at cemeteries or ancient castle, places that are prone to hauntings. Otherwise, I'd just be finding trouble for myself and crazily court death. One must not court death. Do you accidentally? Otherwise, I'll find myself finding trouble for myself, crazily courting death. Klein silently made a mental note. He then carried the naked Maynard back onto the bed without much effort. Oh, because he's much stronger now. Take this family lore. My mom's uncle is a billionaire? Nice. What are you getting in the will, Nagito? Let's go. What are we doing to be on his good side? What's up? Have you popped by? Have you said Merry Christmas? Do you send him Thanksgiving cards? What's happening, you know? You doing your best here? Come on. God. Looking at the obvious Red Devil clears, there's no hope. I've tried everything. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You find his address, you walk, you drive, you go there, and then you walk to his house, and you say, "Hey, steal everything." Dude, I was trying to come up with such a good idea, and then I read Ramiro's message, and it just sends me. Steal everything. Oh my god, that is so good. Only your success matters. Oh my god. I love that. Absolutely. Holy shit. Oh. In the last Eid, he gave me 300. Nice. Okay. Nice. Okay, listen. So at least he knows you exist, okay? Listen, billionaires have a lot of assets, okay? You might get something. Or don't listen for legal reasons. That is a joke. Ramiro, wait, does the U.S. have... Wait, sorry, Nagito, if you don't mind me asking, where are you from? He's from Egypt. Okay, so I'm sure Egypt doesn't have a... So I'm sure Sri Lanka doesn't have a fucking extradition treaty with Egypt. You're fine, Ramiro. You don't even have to say for legal reasons. It's a joke. Fuck it. I once read a hadith. Every day you don't commit a sin is Eid. You should increase the number of Eids. Oh my god. I love how fucking oh my god. I love how like that's written in there to say like, hey, like you should celebrate every day that you can resist your earthly temptations, to talk about to do like good things despite your human nature. You go above and beyond, and we're perverting the shit out of it for money because yes sir. Like, oh, that's hilarious. I'll leave this problem to the police department to vex over it. Oh, and the 2 charms I use now can be considered mission-related expenses, so I get compensated, as he thought as he was packing up. He then took a portrait and unlocked the door. The door opened with a creak, and Klein saw Inspector Toll, who had been guarding outside, not allowing anyone to come near. What had just happened? He could faintly hear the action going on inside the room. Klein smiled and deliberately said, member of Maynard came back to life and tried to give me a passionate hug. Don't joke like that, okay? Why so serious? Klein said. Due to an unconfirmed reason, Maynard became a zombie. Well, the kind of things that happen in ghost stories. Fortunately, I hadn't left yet, so I used magic to purify the desecration, allowing him to return to his slumber. Is that related to the cause of death? I can't give you an answer to that. I don't even know what the problem is. You should know that, like, in our field, unexplainable things are a common occurrence. When I was doing the mediumship ritual, I saw the scene of Maynard's death. He was enjoying some activities that can only be done between a husband and a wife. And at the climax of his joy, he clutched his chest, where the heart is. You mean that is the cause of death? In theory, yes, but you should wait for the autopsy. Toll only glanced at it when he said, Madam Sharon. Klein looked at him, lost. Is she famous? Yeah, judging from her looks and figures, she should be famous. Whoa. Madam Sharon is the prettiest widow in Tingen. She's the most sought-after lady in social settings. She was the second wife of Baron Coy. Coy. Is that a name I know? Coy. Why does that sound familiar? But unfortunately became widowed. She is welcomed by many amongst the nouveau rich merchants and aristocrats. Someone who can be invited to banquets by both the Conservative party and the New Party. It's rumored that she and her stepson, the current Baron Coy, are on friendly terms with many nobles and senior civil servants. She's a powerful lady. To think that she and the Member of Parliament had such a relationship. Simply put, she's an exceptional socialite, Klein secretly concluded. He turned around and pointed into the room. The next part is not included in my job description. How you interrogate Madam Sharon is none of my business. Also, I hit the Member of Parliament with a cane before the purification. You have to deal with it and think of an explanation. Alright. My god, is the site breaking? What is happening? Thank you. Okay, sorry, let me read all the shit. Let me read chat, sorry. Oh my god, another long chapter. Holy shit. Okay. Remember, if that counts, then I have no Eads too. I got into a fist fight with a monk the one time Mom took me to a temple? What is the primary religion in Sri Lanka? Main religion in Sri Lanka? Over 70% of the population is Buddhist. Oh, interesting. Okay, cool. How'd you get into a fist fight with a fucking monk, bro? Aren't they, like, stoic and shit? What did you do to piss him off that much? What? Fisticuffs? I always knew you were British. I broke a window in someone's head. I sold tea leaves as weed to the same monks. No, Ramiro, you're surely joking, bro. You're surely joking. No, stop. I mean, I did insult his whole... What did you say to him? What do you mean I insulted his whole life? What did you say to this man? Again, the monk's fault. It's not my fault. Khaled, how you doing? They are monks. They should not get angry. This is true, but at the end of the day, they're just people. They're not Buddha. They're trying to be, but they ain't Buddha. Oh, are you a Shiite? I see. That makes okay. Because I kept trying to read your message, Calvin, and I was like, bro, what is that? What is that word? Shiite, of course. Yeah. Okay, that makes so much more sense. I was like, okay. I eventually got to it. I have forsaken God. I hope in time you shall find his light again, my young child. I don't give a shit what God you believe in. You pray to Allah, you pray to Yahweh, you pray to God, you pray to Buddha, you pray to... I don't know, there's another major religion I'm missing. Hindus just pray to the universe, so that. Yeah, like, I don't care what you pray to. Have something. Atheism is the way. I used to think so, Eridus. I used to think so when I was younger. As I get older, I find it handier and handier to believe in something bigger than myself. Should I ask my dad to give some more clarity on family lore? Absolutely, devil. I didn't ever used to believe in it, and then as I got older, I was like, no, I should know more about it. And then you learn so much more because like I'm extrapolating. Obviously, I don't know, obviously, but like I know I used to have a much very weird understanding of like our family lore too, because I just like because I only picked up what like they would say occasionally because I was a kid. No one really talked to me about it, but like I would just overhear stuff. So I had a very weird understanding, and then as I got older, I talked to my dad about it, and I got like a much better understanding. So I really recommend. I am an atheist. Yes, I shall pray for you, Ramiro. I kid. The disparity between Aura and the way I've been living is doing in my head. A few days ago, my little sister asked about the difference between the different Islamic denominations, and I said, reference disputes? When you say Islamic denominations, aren't there just Shia and Sunni? Are there more? I was aware of the two main ones. Are there more? There could be. Again, I'm no expert by any stretch. Hell no, I only believe in myself and why I matter. Yeah, no, again, I get that, Eridus. I did for the longest time too, and then as I got older, I found it handy to believe in something bigger than me, because shit, I didn't always believe in me, so something else that I could believe in was handy to have. Both of them also have a bunch of branches. Holy shit, okay. They're way smaller. There's also Ibadi. Sorry, we'll finish this chapter soon, okay, I promise. One of the main sects of Islam with Sunni and Shia. Interesting. Okay, I'm curious. So again, I don't understand Islamic history or very much by any stretch, but from my understanding, the problem with Shia or like the disagreement Shia and Sunni was like who was the inheritor after Muhammad, right? From my understanding, where do the other sects comes from? Like what the fuck? 3 atheists in chat. You're outnumbered. Hey, again, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that it's nice to believe in something bigger than you, because you won't always believe in you, man. You have a bad enough fucking day, you won't believe in you. I love studying the histories of the caliphates. I'm not a theist either. Alright, look at that. That makes 4. What? The bear-like Toll jumped in shock and looked at Klein before looking into the room. With agility that wasn't suited to his body, he dashed in. He pulled back the white cloth that covered the corpse after examining the body, he heaved a sigh of relief. It's better than I imagined. It's not that serious a problem. Maybe I should have drawn my revolver and just shot him 5 times. Let's see if you can find that serious or not, you little shit. That's all you need from me, right? No, Toil shouted. Wait a moment. Why? We have to prevent any accidents from happening. After we talk to Madame Sharon and get her testimony, I'll send you back to Zootland Street. If Maynard can resurrect after being dead for 10 hours, what else couldn't happen? What would I do if you leave? All right. Find a quiet room for me to rest in then. He wasn't feeling his best in every aspect since he just advanced yesterday. Having had just performed multiple ritual ceremonies and using 2 charms and suffered a non-trivial scare, he needed to enter cogitation to eliminate any problems. Just pray to the true creator. He is all one needs. Hey, man. Hey, listen, that's fine with me. I don't give a shit if you fucking believe in Goku. I don't give a fuck. Just something. It's basically who have the most correct hadith, because the Quran is absolute always in all sects. Oh, I see. I see. So it's like translation errors stretched out to infinity. I'm simplifying a lot, mind you, but can't wait till we get to 300 plus. The amount of action is going to be so hype. Oh yeah, we'll get there soon, man, because I'm averaging like 10 chapters a day, 5 streams a week at least, or 5 days a week, let's say. So like from 50 chapters a day, I'll be at 200 in like by the end of the week, and then probably 2 weeks from now I'll be at 300. Dude, I'm gonna catch up to easy so fucking quickly. I'm not even kidding. Holy shit, it's coming. Hold on. I believe in myself and do not at the same time. It's weird for me. I won't question how that's even possible, but it's at least gotten me out of from a few situations. Totally. If you're interested, Eridus, I don't know how much you do or care about. No, not that, but the authenticity of the hadiths. Oh, I see. Okay, thank you. Alex O'Connor. I think therefore I am. If you're interested in any of that stuff, by the way, Eridus, this is a really good video from Alex O'Connor. He does a lot of like philosophy stuff. The Rene Descartes, I think therefore I am, is like a really good like video and really good thought procedure. So it's worth watching if you're interested. And Alex O'Connor is a big atheist himself. If you're interested, he has at least very rational thought points on a lot of stuff. So if you're interested, Klein was extremely cautious about losing control. Toll covered the dead body with a white cloth again and replied, "No problem." I love learning about religion when studying history and not when studying religion. I know what you mean, Devil. Random, but I went nuts during my finals months ago and genuinely started believing in a high sequence character. I learned so much about Christianity and Islam from studying it through a historic lens. It seems more interesting even though I grew up Muslim. I learned about Christianity mainly because I went to a Catholic school. Islam and stuff, I wouldn't say I've learned too much about. I know like some stuff, but like that's just like stuff I've picked up also through history readings and stuff. And like if it'll mention a thing, I'll search it up and stuff. But like I'm definitely not just too read up on it. All right, Eridus. Hope you have a great rest of your day or night, wherever you're from, and hope to see you again later. All right, we're on our way. Let's finish this. Klein was now, yes. Okay, he brought Klein to a guest room that was closer to the sunlit side of the house. He pointed and said, "Inspector Moretti, no one will disturb you here. I'll be paying Madame Sharon a visit." Klein nodded slightly and watched him walk away. Then he closed his door and drew the curtains. In the dim and silent bedroom, he slowly walked over to the rocking chair and sat down comfortably. He allowed his body to rock back and forth rhythmically. There were countless spherical, phantasmal lights overlapping in his mind. The buzzing sounds inclined the ears and the throbbing pain in his head slowly vanished, bit by bit. Reached the heavenly Buddha palm. Have you guys ever heard the story of how Buddha actually reached enlightenment? Ramiro might have, obviously, since at least he grew up Buddhist, so he might know this. But have you guys ever heard this? I always loved that story. It's very cool. Hebra, yes. When his situation stabilized, he opened his eyes and looked into the darkness, outlined a bed, cupboard, and other furniture. He then calmly thought about his earlier attempts. There isn't much feedback, from a few exaggerated jokes. Maybe I have yet to control the powers of the clown potion, as there are still remnant negative effects. Of course, I can't eliminate the possibility that acting has such little effect. Religion as a subject in national exams is stupid. On that we agree, Romeo. Yeah, that's stupid. Personally, I'm not quite willing to play the role of a clown, but since I picked the sequence pathway, I can only bite the bullet and continue. Actually, everyone has to act like a clown at one point or another. I don't have to be so uncomfortable with the idea. Yeah, people do it for free, man. Andrew Tate, for example, does it like all the time. Well, he doesn't do it for free, but he does it all the time. I have to quickly understand a clown's core elements. As the various thoughts churned in his mind, Klein suddenly took out a brass halfpence. Mostly out of habit, he divined if Maynard's death was due to supernatural influences. Love the Andrew Tate. Hey, yeah. Fuck that guy, dude. Maybe it's an occupational hazard. Klein took his head and laughed. His eyes grew dark as he recited repeatedly, John Maynard's death was due to supernatural influences. He flipped the coin and slouched into the rocking chair as he watched the brass luster twinkle in the air as it rotated. The coin fell onto Klein's open palm, revealing the half number facing up, negative. Did my hate for Buddhism go through to cultivation? It is here. For every religion, there's a different set of questions. Oh, good Lord. Jesus, that sounds horrible. Like, man, religion's important. I think, like, people should study it and stuff and whatever, but, like, it shouldn't be a fucking exam, dude. Holy shit, like, don't make that mandatory. If someone doesn't want to study it, don't fucking make them. It's not a science, man. Fuck it. In other words, there weren't any supernatural influences in Maynard's death. I guess that man died of pleasure. The deceased shouldn't be laughed at. So I won't use insipid Chinese phrase to mock him. Klein put away his coin and allowed his thoughts to wander as he nearly fell asleep. Under the slow, rhythmic knocking, Klein tidied his clothing, put on his cap, and walked to the door. Just as his right palm touched the door, a scene appeared in his mind. The Inspector Toll was standing outside on the door and pulling his collar. His expression looked disturbed and helpless. Klein turned the knob and opened the door. Sorry for making you wait so long. We have already found Madame Sharon and obtained her statement. You can return to Zootland Street. I'm sorry for wasting your time. I live in a theocratic country, so it's normal, but why is it mandatory for you? Yeah. There's one Christian girl in my class and they make her take exams in Islam? Oh, dude, that fucking sucks. Ugh. She probably could, but it probably wouldn't go very far. Because I think Egypt is also theocracy to an extent. Well, no, not even to an extent. I feel like it is. So I feel like even in the court system, it probably, unless you got a very liberal judge, it probably wouldn't go too far. I would imagine. Again, I'm not from Egypt. Grain of salt, I would imagine. Klein, yes. Klein didn't ask the reason for his current emotion, but smiled. Madame Sharon admitted that she was with Maynard last night. Yes, she said that she was under the influence. She and Maynard didn't manage to control themselves. When she found out he died of a heart attack, she was afraid, so she fled the room and tidied herself up. She then hid in her own guest room. We don't have enough reason to charge her right now, so we let her go while restricting some of her freedoms. We'll have to wait for the autopsy. Klein leaned his head and smiled. Who are you explaining this to? Oh, yeah, I guess I don't have to explain it to you. I'm just frustrated by Madame Maynard and just started blabbering without realizing it. 70% of Sri Lanka is Buddhist, but every kid that goes to school has to do Buddhism classes. Yeah. Like, I disagree with you when you say only 70%. 70% of a country being one religion is fucking massive. But yes, regardless, religion shouldn't be in schools. I don't care. Like, I'm not sure if you guys are interested, but fucking what state was this? There was a law passed not too long, Tennessee or some shit. It was fucking one of the Republican states. Yeah. It was where the fuck was this? Louisiana. There was a bill passed not too long, June 2024, that the 10 Commandments have to be displayed in every public classroom in Louisiana. Like, I think that's fucking cancerous, dude. Again, 10 Commandments. There's nothing really bad in them. I don't really care. But either way, I don't want religion pushed on kids ever. Fuck them. Like, if the kids wants to be religious as they get older, if their parents are religious and they discuss that at home, all good, no problem. Don't bring that shit in the classroom. I don't give a fuck. Yes, unfortunately, there was something abnormal about the steam locomotive. It wasn't late. Toll gave an affirmative answer in a joking manner. My problem with teaching religion in the school is that the teachers force themselves to say it. I think that's definitely a problem, Nagito. But I think it's also just unfair to the kids. Like, dude, as far as I'm concerned, pushing religion on kids might as well be indoctrination. If the kid gets older and they're interested in their religion and they want to be religious, all for it, man. You practice whatever religion under the sun you want to, no issue. But like, I don't think you should push it on kids. If like their parents want to talk about their religion at home, totally fair. It's your kid. You do that, no problem. And I think classroom should be a place for learning. Like, I don't know. No, I don't know. My parents give me freedom. Yeah, that's always good. Maynard's wife is back. Yes. Unfortunately, there was something abnormal about the... Oh, no, I already asked that. Why aren't you arresting her? She's a murderer. I want to sue her and all of you for negligence of duty. I'll hire the best lawyer to sue you. Harsh remarks entered Klein's ear as he looked over subconsciously. He saw a voluptuous, fair, middle-aged lady staring angrily across her. And despite having two young men holding her arms, she continued yelling at them. A very trendy regal gown and black glund this year, having frequently read the magazines, Ladies' Aesthetic, the first thought on Klein's mind was something unrelated to the situation. He then saw a gentleman protecting a lady behind them. The lady was in a long black dress with a fair, smooth skin, waterfall-like brown hair, and brown dress. She looked as pitiful as a fawn in the woods. It made people want to protect her involuntarily. Madame Sharon. Klein suddenly thought of the video she had starred in. He quickly lifted his right hand, covered his mouth, and coughed twice. Out of habit, he tapped his left molar twice and observed the people present with spirit vision. There's some sort of problem with Mrs. Maynard's body. The color of her aura are thinner. From the colors of her emotions, she's definitely feeling anger and hatred, which is consistent with her appearance. The color of Madame Sharon's emotions are shaded in blue, which represents rational thinking and calmness. This is totally contrary to her appearance of panic and nervousness. As expected, she is no innocent bunny. Her body is very healthy. Well, that's a good way to put it. After examining her, Klein was about to retract his gaze as he suddenly saw Madame Sharon lift her head and steal a glance in his direction. She then lowered her head again and put on a trembling, trepid look. Klein, we were talking about getting married. Madame Sharon is available and very wealthy from the sounds of it. Let's get on it, shall we? Yeah, my mom graduated from a religious college. When I ask her about Islam, she gives me entertaining answers that make me love Islam more, while the teachers literally read from a book. That's definitely yeah. I think that's something that comes from care, Nagito. And not to say like the teachers don't care, mind you, but I think it's just like teachers are they have so many students they deal with. They deal with so many questions, so much shit they have to get through. They just don't have the like capacity to give like a thoughtful, meaningful answer every time someone asks a question, right? Whereas like a parent is much more personally vested in like, let's say, I presume your parents are Islamic too, or like your mom is. And so she wants you to be interested in the religion. So she's giving you like actual thoughtful answers because she wants you to understand and she wants you to think about it. Whereas like a teacher will just be like, dude, fucking turn to page 162. I don't fucking know, dude. Whatever. I agree on that point. I don't believe unbiased people exist, but being clear with your position with your children without forcing it on them seems like a good ideal approach. Totally agree. Bros, matchmaking? That's what we do here, man. I really think we should make some rules, like not discussing religion or war or politics. Dr. Z, that's like my whole personality. You get rid of those, I have nothing left to talk about. I have memes left after that. If I couldn't see your emotions directly, I might have been fooled by your act. You should consider working as an actress. He didn't stay any longer and left the Maynard's house with the inspector. They took the carriage arranged by the police station and returned to Zootland Street. After taking over the shift from the captain, he continued to stay on duty at Chanis Gate and took the opportunity to write a claims application. After an eventful night, Klein returned upstairs and received the breakfast he had requested Roseanne to buy for him. I love this pastry, he complimented. He had already passed her the money for the breakfast ahead of time. Really? I can try it tomorrow then. The corner of Klein's lips twitched as he focused on his battle with the milk and pastry. At 25 minutes past 8, he yawned and fought back the urge to fall asleep. He arrived at the nearby shooting club. He had made an appointment with Daxter a few days back. Fuck it. In a small shooting range, Klein and Daxter aimed at their own targets and finished their cylinder of bullets. Devil, I promise, as soon as I get sponsors, I'll be the first to keep them happy, okay? You don't even worry about it. I will sell my soul. But you know what? Up until then, I'm going to say what I want to, so fuck it. Don't worry. The day I get that Raycon sponsorship, you guys are fucked, okay? That's all I'm going to say. We talked about this earlier, dude. I have no morals. Wait. Hold on. I have a meme for this. Hold on. Hold on. The Raid Shadow Legends? Abso-fucking-lutely, dude.
No rules, no boundaries. He doesn't flinch at torture, human trafficking, or genocide. He's not loyal to a flag or a country or any set of ideals. He trades blood for money.
You see, Dr. Z, if I don't talk about like politics or religion or war or any of that stuff, that's all you're going to be left with. You're just going to be left with me reading 2 sentences of something, reading a chat message, and then fucking grabbing a meme. Okay, that's it. We're doing 4 hours of that. Trust me. Holy shit. And trust me, nobody wants that. Daxter flipped and released the empty shells and examined Klein in interest. You're much more confident than before. Of course. I advanced to sequence 8. I now possess actual combat ability. Oh, good lord. Because I only used a month's time to master the power of my potions completely. Daxter pouted slightly and said, although that is something to be proud of, there's no need to say it all the time. Hey, as a spectator, you didn't see through my performance. From the looks of it, a clown has the power to suppress a spectator's ability. How's Hood Yugen doing? He's gone insane for real. I probed him with various methods. He really has gone insane. I'm considering whether to begin medicating him to see if I can treat him. As a Sequence 7 psychiatrist, he actually pretended to be a mental patient. Even though he was giving treatments to other patients, it doesn't align with the core elements of the potion's name. That was an incorrect way of using the acting method. No wonder he went insane. Before he went insane, did he find out who he was in contact with? Besides the doctors, patients, nurses, and the odd job workers in the asylum, there were no outsiders he was in contact with. Klein briefly acknowledged as he said, "How about even earlier? Was there anyone that visited him? Or did he leave the asylum regularly for a period of time?" In order to follow through with the initial promise, Klein never asked anything about Hood Yugen in the first meetings. Daxter fell into deep thought. It gave him some time before he said, "Besides the members of the psychology alchemists, there weren't any more than 5 people that visited him. One of them came thrice. His name was L." From, like, Death Note? No, I'm just kidding. Without Klein asking, he continued, "But I heard from Hood Yugen that L was a pseudonym. His real name was Lanavis." Wait. Lanavis? Where do I know this name from? Lanavis. Oh, the guy who scammed the 10,000 pounds. That guy. Oh, I remember him. He was in the notes, yes. See? Notes come in handy. Let's fucking go. Holy shit. Look at those notes coming in handy, man. Okay, that was dope. Okay. He ran off the money and left the girl pregnant. Yeah, the one who got away with 10,000 pounds. Yep. Oh my god. And then if Klein turns him in, wasn't there a bounty of like 1,000 pounds or some shit on him? Maybe not 1,000, but there was like a shit ton. Yeah, no, I read that, Romero. Clown, because he said like a clown can basically neutralize the effects of a spectator, which also means that Audrey never did get much of a read on him anyway because of the fog, I guess. But now she has even less of a chance to, because he can just make sure that he's coming across the way he wants to at the Tarot Club, which is good. Yeah, okay. That was good. That was a good stream. All right, look at that. 175 tomorrow. I'm not reading this right now, by the way. Who cheated both sex and money? Let's go. He's the cheat that escaped with 10,000 pounds. Just providing a clue. If I, yes, I'll earn 100 pounds. Time for breakfast. Yes. All right, guys. Thank you so much for another fantastic stream. I will see you again in like 11 hours time. Fuck, man. This is my whole day now. And yeah, that's it. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night. And I hope to see you again later.